1. And alright,
Did
morning,
we
morning.
start?
Hey, hello.
Peace, love, and happiness.
Die. Hello.
What?
Hello.
No, there was a
Sadness,
bug. I
hatred.
thought it was a mosquito, so I sprayed it with pop. It was just a fly. It's gonna die a horrible
Nothing
death.
like,
Hey guys,
you
how are
know-
you doing?
Peace, love, happiness, and die.
Wait, you have one fly in your
You
room
are
and you
worse
spray
at
with
this
pop?
hatred.
There's a reason for that. We're not gonna get into that today.
That was not your story for the day.
No, it's not. But
Mm,
that's a future story. But whatever. This is episode 7,
mhm.
BTA podcast. I'm Ali, joined by Rajiv, Lachlan,
Hello.
and Sharma.
Mm-hmm.
Yo.
So first and foremost, all y'all doing? Link the KMB.
Senate,
Yeah.
it has arrived.
4. I'm a 4
It
in
is
candy.
still. Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm feeling a 7.
5.
Nice.
Before I was between a 4 and a 5, but then I drank between a 5 and 6.
You
You
what?
drank what?
Water.
Oh.
Nice.
If I
Nice.
drank alcohol, I would definitely be a 9.
Won't you be 7 because of the blurriness?
No, the blurriness makes
True.
me feel good.
No, but she's still
It's like
smiling. in the
it makes you more alert. Like that level of alcohol, like your senses are heightened, and it makes you more alert.
Right.
Oh, wait.
Wait, is that a thing? What are you drinking?
I think
Well, no,
everyone...
I'm more referring to the point. No, I'm thinking about sociability because I can actually talk to people when I have alcohol in my system.
Right.
Oh.
But then I have too much, and it goes downhill from there.
Oh no.
Anyways, this episode brought to you
Yeah.
by the struggle team. Sharman, go ahead and read it out, please.
I didn't know he was going to make me read it out loud. But okay.
That's what we did last week.
I wasn't here last week.
Ah.
I didn't listen to the last week podcast either. I do apologize. What's Kamala's middle name? It's hard. Never mind. I figured it out.
Alright, reminder to follow us
Oh,
on
God.
Twitter at BTA Struggle TWTS.
Nice.
Yes.
Shameless plug.
Shameless plug.
Shameless plug. So
I mean,
yeah.
if
more
they're here, they should
degeneracy
already be
like
following
this.
us.
Who's
Mhm.
that?
Huh?
I feel like if they're here, they should already be following us. Oh wait, we meant
Yeah.
Rajiv. Yeah, Rajiv. What did you say?
Oh no, for more degeneracy like this, please.
Yes.
Yes. We have so many degenerates here.
All of us are. Every single one.
I like
No,
to
I
think
need to
I'm
find
like
that clip.
comparatively normal.
That's a lie.
You sure?
You-
Do you want
I'm
to show
sorry.
them
I
the
don't know if
hellscape,
I'm allowed
Ali?
to say this. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say this, but that's a lie, mister.
Yeah. We
You're
have an
making my
entire
dick
channel.
harder in this decon lecture. So, I...
That's not
That's
Yeah,
a lie.
That's not a
that
verbatim
was
quote.
indeed Ali.
It's
I
close,
mean,
but that's not
there is
the
a reason. There is the reason the hellscape bears your name, Mr. Jonathan Ali.
That is true. You are a leader in this.
quote. Alright, whatever. Alright, to move on.
We have so
Yes.
many degenerates here.
Why would you do that?
Incredible, no?
Because I was making
You
a
asked,
reference
I
and no one
answered.
understood the reference.
Ah! What happened?
Oh, right.
Is it Lupin?
Do you want me to just
We
kill
have
it?
so many
I could do that.
degenerates
Look
here.
what you did! Look at what you
Incredible,
did.
you know?
Look at what you did, Lachlan.
Listen,
What? Why'd you kill it?
You could-
10 hours of absolute silence.
You ready to move on? You good? Everything good?
Yeah.
Well, relatively speaking.
You sure? Settle down.
I mean, we could keep talking about your degeneracy if you like.
Okay. First topic. The biggest news to come out of this week. Lachlan, stop playing with the button. I swear to God.
hmm
I have to like skip down later to play this, the song again.
I mean, just wait the 10 hours.
10-hour
10-hour
podcast.
podcast. Let's go.
Yeah. Anyways, the biggest news to come out of this week was.
I mean, not the.
Not the biggest, but
I feel like a lot of news came out this week.
Comrade Corona.
Yeah, but like, at
The news that
least,
literally broke Twitter.
yeah, the news that we actually care about
Uh-huh.
is
I'm sorry, I'm not aware.
that everyone except Sharma
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
new DLC for Smash Brothers, Minecraft Steve, and
And Alex and Tom.
yeah, Steve, Alex, the zombie, and the Enderman. And this may not
I
look
just
like a
realized they
Smash
had the
Brothers
skeleton.
screenshot, but it is.
It's what a world we live in.
This is Super Smash Brothers. It is crazy.
What was
And
your reaction? Did you watch it live?
I watched it live, and as soon as
Yeah,
I saw
same.
Mario going like through the cave, I immediately knew that was Steve.
Because
Yep,
yeah, no,
Minecraft.
because I don't play that much Minecraft. So when I saw all the eyes popping up, I was like, I don't know what this is. And then I noticed the texture of the wall was kind of weird, and I was like, why does the wall look like that? And then I saw him break through, I'm just like, oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
and the news was so big that it crashed Twitter. Because I
Mhm.
tried to go on Twitter to live tweet about it, and I couldn't get on because
I did same, yeah.
huge upsurge in activity just crashed the entire website.
It's
It was crazy.
genuinely insane.
So yeah,
Mhm. I was
what do
very
y'all
happy
think
I
about
got to
this?
experience that live and not getting it spoiled.
Same.
Mhm.
G, what do you think?
I was not expecting Steve of everyone.
I don't
I
think
mean,
anyone was.
Yeah, I wasn't
yeah,
expecting it
that
either.
really came out of left field. I mean, he looks kind of weird because he's all blocky compared to everyone who's all smooth.
Doesn't totally fit in Smash Bros somehow.
I
But
mean,
I don't
who
mind it that
does?
much. I think it's neat. I like it.
Yeah.
I'm very excited.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I feel like people actually hate it. I don't hate it.
And I mean, once you can actually play as him, I think it'll grow on a lot of people.
Yeah. I just I guess I just wasn't expecting because I feel remember a time when Smash Bros was just Nintendo characters and now it literally feels like everyone's in the game.
Yeah,
How
Yeah.
many franchises are in Smash Brothers?
it's like
A lot.
a dozen different companies, I believe, that have trademarks
Mhm.
in the game.
Yeah. And
And
there's still 3 more characters to be announced.
right, yeah, they're not even
Mhm.
done yet. I don't know how they're gonna follow this up.
Goku is the only logical answer.
190 franchises apparently,
Jesus Christ.
and
Oh yeah,
I
because
think this is
trophies and stuff.
outdated. I saw a bigger number somewhere else, but I can't find a source for it.
Oh yeah, there you have it. Minecraft
But
Steve
yeah,
single-handedly broke Twitter. It was insane.
it was what a time to be alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Anyway, Sharma, you can unmute yourself now. Unless she's just gone. Oh no, she's here.
I was just waiting because I had nothing to contribute, so I was just
Contribute.
nice.
okay.
She does it to
Move
me on Twitter,
right
so I have to do
along.
it in real life.
Yeah. Rajiv,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
is that time.
Oh
You
wait, I
said
didn't.
what?
Don't worry about that.
You can't do that to me.
No, I forgot to take my 824. Whatever. It'll be fine.
I am
Oh wait, you can hear
concerned.
the fan.
Rajiv tells a story. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's
Alright, yeah.
You said you
go.
had a story, so
Right. So it was back in primary school. Was it standard 4? Was it standard 5? I can't remember. It's all kind of merged together in my head.
Hmm.
I had come home. I had gone in my bag. There was an envelope in it. You know the yellow manila ones?
like a big one?
Not manila. No, the small like a envelope sized one. The
Like
yellow
if you
one.
buy a
Yeah,
pair
yeah.
of studs, you get
An
like
envelope size envelope.
a
You mean
Yes,
the
passport
ones that
envelope
look
picture
like
size.
size,
documents and
a
stuff, huh?
passport picture size envelope.
No, not. It was the bigger one, like one you'd put an actual letter in. It
Oh,
was
okay,
just
wait.
yellow. I distinctly remember it being yellow. and it
Okay.
was bulging. I touched it. Something hard was inside. I opened it up.
I don't
There
like.
was
I don't know.
jewelry.
Rajiv?
It was
Rajiv?
a lot. It was a lot of jewelry. Like it was. Looking back on it, I'm pretty sure it was like cheap cosmetic stuff, you know. But someone had obviously put like all of their personal jewelry inside there. There was a note, but at this point of time, I was freaking out. I didn't read the note. I just took the envelope with the note and the jewelry in it, and I threw it away. I don't know who sent it to me. I don't know what it had inside there, what someone wrote. I just threw it away immediately and forgot about it. So whoever put that in my bag, I am very sorry. I am very sorry.
Rajiv!
That's Rajiv. That is Rajiv's whole story, and it was just a message to somebody from primary school.
I
Wait,
was
what the?
freaking out, okay? And
Why?
afterwards, every time I told that story, nobody believed me. But it happened.
I.
That was
What if
What the
it
something that
was
happened.
hell?
like what if it was like a girl trying to tell you she had a crush on you and that was her
It
gift?
probably was.
Okay.
It probably was. I didn't believe. I like looking back. I didn't think that was possible.
What if some poor kid like accidentally slipped their jewelry into your bag and you just threw it away?
Yeah.
Oh,
There
that's
could have
Yeah,
bad.
been so many like different reasons for that, and you're just like, nah, I don't want it.
Why you didn't even read the note,
I don't
Rajiv?
know. I just automatically freaked out, and like the only thing that popped in my head was, you know what? Let's just ignore this, and by ignore it, get it out of sight, out of mind.
And
What do
how
you,
old did you say you were?
Rajiv?
I would have been like 10.
Oh God.
God, Rajiv.
Sorry, what does age have to do with it? I don't understand.
Because
I feel like,
that was something like a
yeah.
5-year-old would do, not a 10-year-old.
hmm
Sorry, all age is blurred in my head. That don't make sense to me.
Yeah,
I would
but
have probably threw
yeah.
it away too.
What?
What?
So yeah, that is something that happened. I
Sharma
will
said age
never
is a
have
number.
any. I'll never have any closure on that. But
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
Nice.
Maybe you
that
were like
is
the
one of
chosen one. Those were like the crown jewels or something. I
no,
don't know.
no. It was
It was like your
definitely
national
like,
treasure adventure, and you missed it.
well, that's good. 10-year-old me was not up for that.
But you could have been.
Yeah, nah. I have enough adventure already.
Do you?
Do you really, Rajiv?
Yes, except I don't have a choice in it anymore.
That's how life works.
What?
Mm. Yes.
Yes.
I still can't get over that.
But
Like
yeah,
that
that's
some poor kid probably lost all of
That's
their jewelry because
that's
of Rajiv.
actually someone just put a bunch of jewelry in your bag, and your first instinct is, yeah, let me just put it in the
Yeet.
garbage immediately.
yes. I don't know what
I
overcame
hope
me. I just
I hope someone I hope the person who puts in your bag sees this podcast and then contacts you and
Like on the
tells
off
you
chance.
like what happened. Uh, but I don't likely. But I hope
Were
so.
there ever
yeah.
any like there was no follow up on that or anything?
I can't remember. I don't think so. I would have remembered a follow up.
That's
I
Imagine
think
if like the next week he gets another envelope of jewelry and he
or
just
if
throws
it's
it
like the
away
same
again.
envelope.
Oh, that's spooky.
Mm.
Yeah.
it's so crazy.
So yeah, that was something. Next
Yeah, that was
story.
something.
All right.
Well,
Yeah, moving right along.
all right. How do you do that thing on Genius where like you take like a screenshot of like the lyrics, but like it has like the person like saying the words?
What?
What?
Okay, you know how like people post like these pictures of like lyrics, right? From Genius, but like instead of just posting the lyrics, you post it with like an actual picture of the artist.
Yeah.
How do you get that?
Lachlan, those are edited.
But like I want one.
You have to go
Well,
edit it yourself,
graphic.
Lachlan.
No. Graphic design is someone's passion here, isn't it,
That is true,
Mr.
you know.
Ali?
If he wanted to, he would have volunteered. So leave him alone.
Sharma, going on with your mic.
What?
I'm sorry. I apologize.
Yeah, there you go.
Mhm.
She's entered the.
So
Huh.
yeah,
Alright.
moving right along. Continuing with the story time theme, Lachlan, you said you also have a story.
I have two Indian food related stories that I could share. I'm probably just gonna. One of them is less interesting. The other one is well more interesting, as the
Uh-huh.
saying goes. So I'm gonna tell. Do
I
I
don't
tell the
think
more
that's
interesting
fair.
one or the less interesting one?
Whichever one you plan on telling. What do you mean?
Hmm.
Whichever one you planning
Pick
on telling.
one.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't
Roll
know
a
which one.
d20. Roll a d20. Auto even. You could do it
Oh
in the
wait,
channel.
where's the bot for the T20?
Please do not roll a d20. Just tell the story.
Hold on.
God damn it.
It's exclamation.
Yeah, no, I found
Excla-
it.
yeah.
R1
Okay.
D20.
If it's even,
No, you
I'll
could do it.
tell the. If it's even, I'll tell the news story. If it's odd, I'll tell the less
Yeah, you
interesting
could do
one.
it in the podcast channel. It works in the
It's a
podcast channel.
15. Oh, it's late for that. Anyway, I got an odd, but I still like. I feel like I don't know, man.
Just
Just
tell the
tell a
story.
story. Jesus Christ.
So I guess I'll tell the more interesting one because we're trying to get views. But when this was a few years back, I was in a foreign country, and it was just me and my parents. My sister was like that. You get it. But like, I was in a foreign country. It was just me and my parents. My sister was in the same country, but not with us at the time. And then my parents were like, "Yo, we should get food." And then I checked my phone, and I'm like, "Oh, there's an Indian restaurant nearby." And I really like Indian food, but then usually when we get it, for some reason, it always makes my sister sick. So we don't eat Indian food often because like we don't want her to get sick and stuff. But at the time, it was just me and my parents, and there was an Indian restaurant nearby. So I was like, okay, cool, let's try this Indian place. So I go into this Indian place, right, and I get food from there, and it's good food, and I eat the food, and the service is nice, and like everything's good. Then after we're done being served, like they take the food away, we're waiting on the bill or whatever, and I take out my phone just because like the place has free Wi-Fi, and right, no, I didn't know the place had free Wi-Fi yet. I had a SIM card for the country, but I take out my phone to like, or no, I think I was just playing a game. I take out my phone, and then
Yeah.
the guy, one of the waiters, sees me take out my phone, walks up to me, and like puts a card on the table with the Wi-Fi password and a link to TripAdvisor. And he's like, "Oh, I see you have your phone with you. Well, like, could you like then like go to this link and please leave us a review?" And I was just like, "What?" Because I was just like sitting there, at the table, and then he just walks up to me and like puts down his card. He's like, "Great, you have a phone. Now you're gonna write a review for us." And then he like stands up right behind me, and because he's just like, "You're gonna write a review, right?" And I was just like, I don't. I guess. Am I? I guess." So then he's like standing there waiting for me to write a review. I'm just like, "Could I get some privacy?" He's like, "No, I want to see you do it. Like, I just want to like stay here while you do it." I'm just like, "Could you not do that?" And so eventually I get him to leave, and I don't post the review at first, or I can't remember if I posted it. It was either that I didn't post it or I posted it and I deleted it. But then I think like it was taking a while for us to get the bill, and like they were all looking at their phones. So in my head I was just like, are they waiting to see until I post my review in order to give it until they give us the bill? So then I had to post another review. And then I think like they were just waiting on us to call them for the bill. So it wasn't even the fact they were waiting on my review. But yeah. So then I gave them a review. I did give them 5 stars because it was like the best Indian food I'd ever had, and the service was really good. But yeah, that is my story.
The service was good except for the whole standing behind
Trying to
you,
intimidate
Yeah,
you into
waiting
the
for a
service
posting a
food.
review.
during the meal was good. The only not good part was when they held me hostage and told me that I had to leave a review on
That
TripAdvisor.
sounds, yeah, that sounds like you had an overzealous manager.
I think
Yeah.
that's kind of genius though. Like if you want a review, just stand there and wait for it.
No,
But
that's terrible.
It
Don't
It
do
sounds
is
that
like
when
the
very
kind of
smart.
thing
how?
like,
It is. It
the overbearing
is, but
managers would force them to
kind
do.
of smart.
Yeah. But like, I think
Yeah,
he just like wanted to do it. He just like happily walked up and was just like, "Oh, you got your phone," and then he just like was just like, "Yeah, like do
What if
this."
he was the manager? Y'all
He could
consider
have
that.
been.
I
Yeah,
mean, if he had time to stand behind you and watch for so long, he probably was.
Yeah.
true.
I mean, there was no one in the restaurant because it was like close to closing time, and there was no other customers.
So what did you have? You remember what you ate?
No, I had. I don't remember the names of Indian dishes. To be fair, I would need to like see the menu of the place. But
Me
like, I
neither,
just
but those are
remember.
fine.
Yeah, I just remember it was good. I enjoy eating it because I always love Indian food. Um, yeah, That was it.
Nice.
Nice.
hmm
Yeah. I really think you're just dealing with, somebody who's like being forced to do it by their manager, or they were the
He seemed
manager.
happy to do it. I don't know if he, from what I remember, he didn't seem for. I didn't get the vibe that he was forced to it. I got the vibe that he just saw me and made a decision that this needs to happen. Because it wasn't
Yeah,
like
he
a
was.
thing where like he did it unprovoked. He saw that I pulled out my phone and was like, "Oh, this is an opportunity."
Time to
Yeah, that probably
pounce.
was the manager.
hmm It's just yeah. But yeah, that is my story about Indian food. I have another one, but I'll save it for another time. Unless you want me to tell it now, but I probably won't tell it now anyway.
Nice. Anyway, we're about halfway
Yes.
through. So, you all know what that means. Drink break time.
Ah, yes.
Water break.
Sharma says, drink some water.
Yes, that is a certified
Yes.
Sharma saying.
Sharma says, drink more water.
Drink
Man,
more
And
water.
I
Sharma. There's a direct quote.
Y'all hydrated?
just now.
You just know.
Oh
How long
wait.
does it
Yes.
take to drink water?
I wanted like 3 mouthfuls instead of 1. So, you know,
Just chug it,
Sharma loves her
Sharma.
water.
yes.
I was about to say a thing, but that's an inappropriate joke.
I
Don't,
mean, you
don't make
are
any jokes.
mostly water.
Yeah.
Yes, we are all 70% water and 30% idiot. Now,
That's
Wait,
next up.
not.
only 30?
Sorry?
Huh?
I don't think that's an
It's
accurate.
we are about 70% water. Our entire body is about 70% water.
No, but like Edward Elric says otherwise. Come on.
30% idiot.
That's not.
You you think is the
That's
exception?
not
Okay.
a thing.
Anyway,
I don't think
Yeah, 30
I
is
don't
way too
think
low.
you get it.
I'm at
I
least 40% idiot.
I'm like 100%.
Okay, I could agree with that. I'm sorry. My apologies.
Damn. Okay. Wow. She called me a dumbass.
what the hell going
Technically,
on
you
with
called
you?
yourself one too.
Technically,
Yeah, but
yeah.
it's okay when I do it.
Nah.
When she
It'll
does it,
work.
it's just mean.
It'll work
Yeah,
like that.
I don't
Don't
vibe with that,
worry.
Sharma.
Don't worry,
Yeah.
Lachlan. We're all in the same boat here.
Sharma's the kind of person to say the N word and be like, "Oh, if you can
I
say it, then everyone should be able to say
I
it."
don't say the N word. No, no, we're gonna
Okay, we
backtrack
took
here.
Okay, I
we took a
apologize for
little
that.
jump there. We took a
But
little
also,
jump
fuck those people.
You did too much. I'm
Wait, the people?
The only
Like
The
reason
all
people who are
Sharma
people?
is
like, "Oh,
guilty
if
of
you
is
can say the N word, I can say
Islamophobia.
the N word."
I
Oh,
am
you
The
not.
said
people who are
Don't
like,
those
say that
yeah.
people.
either.
I think you said
Y'all,
the people.
please. I am
Ready
not
to move on?
Islamophobic. I am not
Yes.
racist.
Yes, that's true. Sharma is not.
I mean, she's just an Islamophobe.
No.
She's not that either.
Hmm?
Done.
I don't think
Y'all
anyone
Done.
here is.
y'all stress me out.
Moving on. Okay, who's next? Oh boy. So, I guess, yeah. One more story. Until we get to the part where we tell more stories. Why did you post the
Yes.
resolution as well?
What? It
Yeah.
just came. I didn't mean to send it. It just happened.
Yeah, Lachlan. It's kind of weird. Why does that you keep posting resolutions?
Do I keep posting her? That's like the first time.
You have done it a couple times.
Have
Yeah,
I?
you have. Like that time you couldn't get the picture
I
to send properly. Every time you sent it,
Yeah.
the
okay, that was
resolution came up.
different.
Yeah.
That will be a struggle tweet for another time.
I think it already is a struggle tweet.
It already is,
I
yeah.
mean, like a struggle. Like we'll do it in the podcast.
Okay. Are you gonna
Yes.
read out like file names?
Sure.
Anyways.
Okay.
So yes, I promised last week that I would tell the entire story of how I ended up working at Domino's. And it went a little something like this. So, I dropped out of UE in November of 2018, and
hmm
I wasn't planning on going to Canada until August 2019. Between then and then, I decided I needed to do something to kill time. And I was like, you know what? I'm not in school. I have none but free time. Let me try working. So I started applying for jobs. I started sometime in January, I think. Like after the first month, I was like, yeah, let me start applying. And I was sending out job applications. And my thought process was, I don't really care about money. I really just want the experience, right? Because I'm just killing time. And I was like, you know what? If I work at a fast food place, I get free food. So I made up my mind that I would just apply to fast food places. And that's what I did. And I think basically every fast food place in Trinidad got an application from me. And not many responded because, unsurprisingly, I was overqualified. Up
Okay.
until a month later, I got, I think it's a phone call. It's either email or a phone call or both from Domino's. And they were like, yeah, we saw your application. We want to call you in for an interview. I was like, yeah, sure. Bet. So, you know, day the interview comes and put on a shirt and a tie. Like, I remember this. Like, I dressed really fancy for an interview at Domino's of all places. 'Cause, big believer in just for the job that you want, not for the job that you have, and all of that. So,
Right.
put on the shirt and tie. I can't remember how I got to Area Pizza exactly. I think I traveled. And then, I got there, did the interview. It was the first time I ever did an interview, but it went well. And they were like, yeah, basically told me, like, on the same day, we'll hire you. You can start next week. We'll give you a call. But they were asking me some questions, right? For those who don't know, I live in Barataria, but I went to school in Chagonas as high school. And Domino's has branches in Arapit Avenue, which is moderately close to Barataria, and in Chagonas, which is not. And they saw on my resume that I worked, that I went to school in Chagonas, and they said, hey, do you know how to get to Chagonas? I was like, yeah, because I went to school there and all to travel there. And what they basically did was instead of giving me the very desirable, position in Arapit Avenue, they give it to me in Montrose, in Chagonas, which meant that I'd be traveling from Barataria to Chagonas every day instead of Barataria to Arapit Avenue, which is a lot easier, cheaper, and faster. So that was strike one. And yeah, at first I didn't care, right? Because, I was optimistic that I was just killing time. No big deal. I could deal with this. And I got to the job. I started working there. It was me and another trainee. She just giving like similar vibes to me that she just here to kill time. And like, as you're doing this job, I start to realize, wait a minute, there's actually no free food involved with Domino's, is there? All we got was a discount. That was strike two. And yeah, I basically started working there. And these, you know, retail industry is not easy. I was expecting this because I worked in retail before. But it's different when it's fast food because that's like way more stressful. Wasn't planning on like cooking food, like I applied specifically to be a cashier. But then they had me like start making food, even though I didn't have a food card. So I was just making food without a food card, and I was like, fine for them. They didn't care because paying minimum wage and you're expendable and whatnot. So yeah, I was just there making illegal pizza. And another like thing about our experience that bothered me was like my managers were horrible, and I think it was Siobhan and Trevon specifically who like came to visit, and they're just eating their food, and they're listening to like just how this manager was yelling at me for like the most simple pedantic things, and like after she was done, like, they came up to me and was like, yeah, you want us to like jump over the counter and handle Sheila because she was legitimately just being very unreasonable on a pain, and that was going on for weeks. So, yeah, and then like But like the straw that finally like broke the camel's back, right, was the night shifts. Like you'll see Drell talking about this a lot, how he hates working night shifts at Popeyes. It was similar enough to like Jarrell's situation in that the restaurant was short staffed, so they just kept giving me like 5 night shifts a week. And you know, me living in Barataria, I do not like traveling home at 10 o'clock in the night. That is not a desirable situation for me. So yeah, it was like I would stay by Dylan some nights because he lives really close by the restaurant, but like I felt bad about staying at his place all the time. So I was like, yeah, I kind of fed up with this. I was planning on working from like, you know, end of February until like August. But like, every time some stupid happened, I was like, yeah, I'll move it up a month. I'll quit in July, and then June, and then April, and then it like finally got to the point when I saw my schedule for next week had like 5 night shifts. I was like, yep, I'm done. I'm not even gonna turn up the next week. So all in all, I only ended up working 3 weeks at Domino's.
I thought you were gonna say like 2 months or something.
No, it was only
That's
3 weeks.
insane.
Yeah, because like us, the way they treat their workers is like they hire people and they keep people who need the money because they know they can just abuse people like that.
Mm.
The working conditions just horrible, but they know that people aren't going to leave if they can't get anything anywhere else. In my case, I didn't need the money, so I didn't care, and like I was just yeah,
Good.
I have more self-respect than this. I'm done.
Yeah. You were fed up because you weren't fed up by free food.
Yes, they did not give me free food. If they gave me
True.
free food, it would have been fine. I would have done anything, but they didn't. They only gave
Honestly,
me a
it's
10%
a
discount.
mood.
Yeah. Oh, another thing that was
Mm.
like really messed up was I mentioned that they just kept giving me like horrible week schedules, but it was specifically for Panorama, right? My brother was playing for Panorama, and because I was leaving the country in the same year, it probably would have been the last chance I ever would have like gotten to see him play for Panorama for the next 5 years or whatever. So it's like, yeah, I specifically need to not work the night shift on this Saturday so I can go to Panorama. And they were like, no, like you can move around the schedule, please, just like let me do this. Otherwise, I just can't see him play for the next 5 years, and I want to see him play. And they were like, no.
Mm.
Like another worker like overheard me, and like out of the kindness of her heart, she was like, yeah, I'll switch with him. I have the day shift. I'll,
Lovely.
yeah. Shout out to her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Because she,
I
yeah,
hope she's doing good.
I hope she's doing well too. I think she got moved to be a manager at the, I forgot which branch, but she got to be a manager eventually.
We
So
gotta
yeah,
find which branch and then shout her one day.
yeah, I'll see if I can visit her. Because otherwise, I would have like quit that same day. So yeah,
Fair.
Same.
that was the Domino story. The other
That
thing.
is the Domino's.
Good story.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you said you wanted work experience, and you got the experience of working.
Yeah, I just wanted it to be,
True.
more than 3 weeks. So that was cool.
The moral of the story is: do not work retail.
No, like, because I worked
I
retail
mean,
before, right? And it was fine. Just specifically, Domino's sucked. Don't work at Domino's. That's all.
that's fair.
Yeah. Rajiv?
Rajiv?
Is Rajiv here?
Is Rajiv present? Rajiv is muted. Sharma is also muted.
Nice.
I was muted because I was speaking to my father, and
How's
now
he
I'm done.
doing?
He's fine. He's going to eat food.
What food is he
Don
making?
Sharma's father.
He's gonna eat roti, and I don't know what he brought, but it's roti and something. He was telling me that the roti is whole wheat and not white, and that's why I'm muted.
Nice.
Because you couldn't have discussed the whole wheat roti in the podcast.
Well, I didn't. I thought it would be, like interrupting. But I guess it don't matter now because y'all just needed to know. Okay,
Yes. I need to know everything.
sure.
I just want to know details of your life, Sharma. Damn.
Okay, all right. Anyways, teachers we didn't like.
Oh, Rajiv back. Rajiv!
Hello.
Rajiv!
I guess you just, like, didn't hear the end into the Domino's story then.
I did not.
Nice. Alright, we'll move on.
I just know you quit. The end.
Yeah.
Yes, the end. You'll go back
You
and
can
listen to
listen
the
to the
replay.
podcast
Yes,
later.
Right.
yeah. All right. Last item on the agenda for today. So specifically, we're going to talk about the teachers that we had that we didn't like.
Nice.
Mhm.
Rajiv, you go ahead.
I kind of got on, or at least got on with, or at least tolerated most of them. I mean, I got pretty lucky. Most of the teachers I had were decent, except like one got on my nerves because they got on my nerves and they infuriated just about everybody else. Yeah, that was a really bad time. They left eventually and got replaced by someone that everyone liked universally. But yeah, I'm glad that happened actually. Even if we suffered in the subject for like a year. It was just like, you know how some people just get under your skin?
Mm.
Yes.
And I wasn't even the one that got treated that bad, honestly. Like, a lot of people got it much, much worse. But yeah, also they failed me. That's what I'm really upset with. They gave me 49. I got 49 in that term over some nonsense. No. That's what I'm really upset with actually. And that's my story.
Very nice.
That's it?
Mhm.
Nothing else?
What do you want me to say? I don't hate anybody. I don't have any deep-seated antagonism against any individual.
Not feel like
They
any
just got on my
professors in
nerves a
uni or
little.
anything?
No, most of them, I have no issue with them. Like, I mean, one was kind of lacking, but I mean, I just studied by myself. It was also kind of funny.
Alright.
Yeah, I don't really hate people. I don't have it in me to do that.
That's fair.
That's amazing.
Alright, Lachlan, what
Carried.
about you?
I have a few teacher stories. Like I had two main ones of teachers I just didn't really like, and then he just reminded me of one that not wasn't a teacher I didn't like, but was just one I thought was funny. The first teacher I didn't like was my secondary school art teacher in first form, and most of my secondary school teachers I really liked, the ones that taught me and the ones that didn't, because I feel like I can get along with everyone, and they were just nice, really hospitable people. But this one teacher, for whatever reason, she just decided to be really mean to all of her students from the jump. And she was just like, yeah, like y'all are all going to turn in a bunch of shite, so I don't want y'all turning in a bunch of shite. And she specifically specified shite because she knows she wants to say shit, but because she was talking to like 11 and 12-year-olds, she couldn't say shit. So she explicitly like said shite. And she was like, yeah, like y'all are going to turn in a bunch of shite, so I want y'all to actually put in the work so y'all don't turn in a bunch of shite. And I was just like, why are you like this? Why are you being so angry about this? Why are you being so mean about this? These children are trying their best, or some of them just don't want to be here because we were forced to take art for 2 years. And then she was just being a bitch about it because and telling us that we were going to do shite before the class even started. She also always threatened to hit everyone with a mallet.
Huh?
Like she
Like
had
a
like a little
mallet.
wooden hammer. She had like a little wooden hammer that like she used. Found, I'm gonna hit you with this mallet, and
Wait,
then we
how
were like, hmm?
how big was it?
It was like surface area wise, it was like the size of my palm. I mean, like smaller than my palm because I have big palms. But like, I don't remember exactly. It was like big enough that, of course, if you got hit by it, it would not be pleasant because it's a wooden hammer of any size. I feel like that's not going to be pleasant. But yeah, that was that one story. And then I moved on to second form and I had to take art again. But then I had an art teacher I actually really liked. And then I talked to the art teacher mainly because I had friends that were in her class. Another teacher that I had that I wasn't really fond of wasn't necessarily a teacher, but like she was the former principal of my secondary school, my primary school, sorry. So I was like young. When I was like 8, I used to get into a lot of trouble. So I used to like end up in her office a lot. Sometimes there's like a story my sister has where like, because my sister and I went to the same primary school, of how like she saw me like walking with like a few like of my friends, and I just like said with the biggest smile on my face, I'm gonna go to the principal's office because I got sent to the principal's office for hitting a boy in the head with a rock.
What?
I told you the story, Jonathan.
Oh, yeah, you have.
Yeah, but yeah, so that happened. But like this isn't actually why. But like yeah, she always had this reputation of being like really strict and really mean. and stuff, and really scary. And I thrive the best with the really scary teachers. Because I have a lot of teacher stories now that I think about it, but some of those will get saved for another time. But yeah, so she was just really strict and really mean. And as a child, whenever I saw someone who was like just really strict for like no reason and tried to like rule by being mean, I just was never about it. And then she was really, I think she was always like really confused because I was fearless and she tried to instill the fear of God in me or something and it just didn't work. And I think like
Yeah,
when she
what?
talked to my parents, she was shaken about it. From the
Hmm.
testimonies my parents gave, she was like very shaken by the fact that she could not like shake me. I
Huh.
think my parents actually thought I was a psychopath because of that. But
Are you?
the main reason I didn't like her was that like she like stopped being the vice principal when I was like in class 1. But then when she had stopped, she still like hung around school to like help out and stuff. And I think she actually came back one year to like because we had like lost a bunch of teachers, so she came out to teach class. And then her grandchildren went to school with us, and I was friends with one of them. And like, even though she was like this mean teacher who would always punish like most people, she absolutely refused to put her grandchildren in trouble. Like, there was one time we were hanging out with her grandson, and he like said the word bitch. And then when you're like a 10-year-old going to like a Catholic school, hearing someone say the word bitches is like, oh, like this is the time when you can like
Snitch
instantly
time.
pounce on them. Yeah, snitch time. This is the time when you can get someone in trouble because that was what we lived for, getting people in trouble and making people miserable because private school children are the worst. But anyway, so like yeah, we went to tell her about it. And like keep in mind there were like 4 people present. So like 3 of us witnessed this happen. And we all 3 of us like went down there and were like, oh, he said this. And then he came with us and he was like, no, I didn't say this. Because I don't know if it was maybe that he was like seeing red or something and then he didn't realize what he'd said, or if he was genuinely just like lying about it. But like we walk up to her and we're like, hey, your grandson said this. And he walks up with us and he's like, hi, I did not say this. And then because of that, we get a whole lecture about how her grandson would never do this. Her grandson is a good child. Her grandson is well behaved, and he would never do this thing. So even though 3 of us watched this woman's grandchild say this thing, we told her about it, and she did nothing because in her eyes, her grandchild was a good child. There was another incident I witnessed later on with her granddaughter, who is a menace because she was like hyperactive. She would like pull people's hair and stuff, and she attacked like some of her friends. She was overly violent with some of her friends, and they told her about it. And once again, she gave them the whole spiel like, "Oh, my granddaughter is a good child. She would never do anything like that," and she completely disregarded everything that people were telling her on the account of the fact that it was her grandchild. And as a result, I never liked her after that.
Nice.
And then she saw me again like 2 years later, like 2 years ago, and then she like smiled at me, and like I didn't really want to smile at her because like I didn't like her, but I was still nice to her.
It's good that you took the high road,
And like
Lachlan.
yeah, what?
It's good that you took the high road.
I mean, I wasn't gonna like I didn't really like I had no animosity in my heart at the time. I was also at church, so like you can't really do anything there. The last story I have that's like relatively simple. It's just something that Rajiv's story reminded me of. But when I was this was fifth form, I was taking principles of accounts at the CSEC level. And so the first semester, we had this one teacher that came in. I believe he was a replacement because one of our teachers had either been on leave or just retired. So he was a replacement for that class. And he came in and he taught it. Yeah, it was someone had left, so he was replacing someone. So he comes in and he teaches the class for a semester, and like he's not necessarily like, the best teacher because it was his first semester like actually teaching, but like we got along really well. He told me one time that he thought I should become the prime minister of Barbados. He told my parents that once when we had the parent teacher meeting. So like we used to like have fun in his class, like talk and stuff, and it was fine. And then first term ends, we go home, go about our business. Second term starts, we show up to our first principles of accounts class, and he does not. And we're like, oh, that's weird. He hasn't come to class. And then that class ends, and we go through that entire class just chilling because we had no teacher. Then the next day comes, we are supposed to have the class again because I think we have it twice per week. And then once again, no one shows up. And so we spend like a whole class not doing anything. And we're all just like, okay, that's weird. Then the third class happens now. And then like once again, we're sitting in this classroom by ourselves. And then the teacher from the other class comes over and she's like, hi, bring your chairs over. You guys are going to join my class. And then for the rest of the semester, it was like all of the principals of accounting students like all in one classroom. So there was like we were over capacity. We had to like share desks and stuff, and everyone was crammed into one classroom, being stuck, being taught by this one teacher. Eventually, like a replacement for him showed up, and then later on, we found out that the reason that this man stopped showing up is that he got a job at Digicel and went to work at Digicel and did not tell anyone that he had gotten a job at Digicel. So he just vanished off the face of the earth and no one knew where he was. And we were just sitting down not receiving classes for a week.
Nice.
Yeah.
That digital pack.
Oh boy.
He got the bag and he left.
Yeah. I mean, he was.
This-
Yeah.
Mhm. But yeah, those are my
He
teacher
just-
stories for the day.
He just
Nice.
dropped and left everything. You know, Ali, now that I
I
think about
understand
it,
that.
how
Was
come
that?
they left us on our own for so long? No, none of the other teachers did anything, did they?
No, they would always have like somebody come and supervise.
Like they supervised, but no one taught us anything.
No, we were expected to like teach ourselves if we had a free period.
Which did, yeah, that didn't happen.
Never happened.
This was sixth form.
Whole
No, this was like Form 3.
the
This
whole
was
time,
free
yeah.
periods in form 3. Oh no, yeah.
If a teacher
We
didn't
had like
show up, we had somebody supervise, and they just make us do independent work.
yeah, that's usually what we did too.
Sometimes the teacher would send
Yeah.
work if they knew they were not going to be there.
But we didn't
Yeah,
do
yeah.
that either.
That's I think that's all secondary schools because we had the same thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Anyway,
Wow,
Sharma.
it was actually a miracle that happened.
Yes. In Form 2, when we now started the science subjects, right? Because in Form 1 we did integrated science, and Form 2 we started chem and physics and stuff. So Form 2 is when I started having my mental health issues and stuff, at that time in life. And so there were some days of school that I would miss. And then I didn't really have much friends in Form 2 either. So no one would tell me, like, oh, I also didn't want to ask anybody what we did in this subject yesterday. So this teacher, like, we started off on a bad foot because she asked me a question in class. And apparently it was really simple and I couldn't answer it. So she just assumed that I was stupid for like she just assumed I was stupid because I didn't know the answer to the question, but I wasn't there. I wasn't there, and like I didn't ask anybody, which is also my fault. But anyways, so because of that, she kept picking on me, right? But for the really hard stuff that nobody like that wasn't even on the syllabus, she just asked me random questions that nobody even knew the answer to, but she asked it to me, and I keep getting it wrong. So she just hated me. So, anyways, I didn't like her either. Any, anyways, I still don't like her. But so in Form 3, we had a different teacher, I think. I can't remember at all. I can't remember Form 3 at all. Anyways, I don't think I had her in Form 3. And um, in Form 4, I had a new chem teacher. She was the teacher that I didn't like, was teaching the other class. And then I had my teacher who I really liked. And so the horrible teacher didn't teach me again until upper six for one section of our environmental science syllabus, right? For like one module of it. And it was actually really good. Like, because all of us grew up a bit and like I was kind of smart. I peaked in high school. But anyways, I was kind of smart.
Mood.
Right?
Honestly, mood.
So um so the whole class she was talking about like how would you dispose of a old rusty shutdown car, right? And the entire class, everybody in class was joking because like one girl said she gonna pack it up in the forest on and I should say like leave it on the road and like all kind of shitty answers, right? And I was also given shitty answers and I was like, just drive it into the ocean. And she immediately stopped laughing. Like if I give her the most blasphemous answer in the entire world.
It's a
And she was
pretty
like,
bad answer, Sharma.
okay, but the entire class was given horrible answers. So you kind of just single me out, is my point, right?
But that's gonna kill the fish.
Yeah.
I mean,
Y'all,
they do
y'all,
scuttle like ships to make
y'all,
artificial habitats
please,
on the water.
please don't be stupid.
Oh
Listen
no,
to my
Sharma,
story.
you wanted to kill the fish.
I'm not telling it anymore. I'm sorry, never mind.
No, Sharma,
Okay, Sharma, keep
continue.
going. We're sorry.
You're rude as hell. So, right. So she's like, Sharma, what are you planning on doing with the rest of your life? Entire class.
God.
And and I looked at her and I was like, I haven't figured that out yet, but I will. And she was like, huh, sure. And then she continued teaching. And for like the rest of my entire upper six year, I just hated her because she was like, I don't know, she was very rude to me and she's annoying. I don't know when you started. I was talking to this other girl who also had a problem with that same teacher, and she was like, that teacher like almost flashed her father for parents. They all kind of shit, and
Wait,
it was
what?
What?
insane.
Huh?
Yeah,
What?
she was flirting with the girl dad now,
Oh
Oh,
and
huh.
gosh.
and for parents they like she bent down in front of him on his
Oh,
side, but not the student side. But the girl still saw anyways, and he cussed out at parents day, and it was fine. That was a nice
Oh
story that I
gosh.
heard
huh.
from her.
Was she
So
hot though? Was she cute?
she was okay. In my I cannot see her beauty because she was a bitch. But yeah,
That's fair.
um, yeah, that's my story. Also, she real fake too because then in year two when it now started, we had a program for high school students, and she brought a group of students to see it, and I was by chem department at the time, and she saw me and she came out to me and she was like, hi, and then she introduced me to the current form sixes. I'm like, this is a really good student, da 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 da, and I was smiling and I was so annoyed because you fake a bitch. Anyways,
Go ahead.
that was my story.
I mean, you got the grades. You can't say that you're not a good student.
I don't care. I just didn't like her. Also, but another teacher that I didn't like at first was my lessons teacher. Because in Form 4, when I started doing chem, I hated chem. I had a really bad foundation in chem, right? And like my first end of term in Form 4 chem was 26 out of 100. And I think I kept that paper for memories because now that's kind of laughable. But um, yeah, so for lessons, I hated him. Like he was real scary and he used to pick on you. And like when I don't know the answer, he used to make it out in front of the entire class very loudly and very rudely. And that's the only reason I started actually doing work because I didn't want to be embarrassed in class. And then I started to do good in his class, and he was nice to me, and now I love him, and he's my favorite teacher ever.
Verbal abuse works.
It depends, but okay.
Interesting moral.
Yeah. I realized
Yeah.
like all chem teachers are kind of like that because at my school, I would say that like the ones who are like put on the front of like being the strictest and being the harshest were always the chem teachers. But like they were also really nice at times. I got along with the chem teachers well when they weren't teaching me.
Um, I remember the Form 3 one I had, and she was the head of department, and she have like textbooks and stuff, and she was the nicest and best chem teachers. Like she could teach a concept, and everyone would understand it like fully. And
Mhm.
I don't like, but she retired now, I think, but she's the best.
Yeah.
But
Uh,
I do agree, a lot of camp people, I probably myself included, because I don't want to be like I'm the exception because I'm probably not. But a lot of camp people just kind of rude.
yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like
Yeah.
it's not necessarily that they're rude. They just feel like they have to be like super like strict and super mean to like get students to perform at the best of their
well,
abilities.
because camp for a lot of people camp kind of hard, and I think a lot of people also strict teaching works. Like to
Yeah.
me, I prefer strict teachers. So yeah, I
You
think
see, I
maybe I
don't,
agree.
and I have plenty of stories about why about that and the effects that I've had on strict teachers, but I don't know if we have time for that today.
Probably not, but yeah.
But yeah,
I
same.
prefer I prefer strict teachers than easygoing ones because the easygoing ones and the nice ones don't get any work done. And then I'm the kind of person that will slack off if somebody not strict with me.
Wait, do it your mic.
Yeah, is Lachlan is not me.
Oh, alright.
And now stop. Yeah. Your turn, Ali. You have 5 minutes.
Yeah, so I don't know. Like I mentioned a lot that I didn't have many good relationships with teachers, as Rajiv can probably attest to this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. One of the
I
you
mean,
know, most telling stories was probably in
Wait,
Lachlan, what are you
wait,
doing?
please.
Yeah.
Wait,
Lachlan,
Lachlan,
you good?
Me?
stop moving
Yeah.
your mic or mute yourself.
What's going on?
That.
That.
I'm not making any noise.
Where's that coming from?
It's coming from
Yes,
you.
Lachlan.
Just mute yourself.
You good? Alright.
Okay.
Yeah, one of
Alright.
the most telling stories was probably Lower Six. I had a really bad relationship with my Caribbean studies teacher. Lachlan, I swear to God,
What the fuck?
what are you doing to
I
your
think your
microphone?
mic is your mic
Lachlan,
connected properly?
It should be. I'll just go
Lach-
on mute.
yeah, I said that.
Okay. Why did you unmute? Okay. You good?
Yeah, we
I
good.
I I think so.
Yeah, so Korean studies. I was not a fan of this teacher, and she was not a fan of me. She was just very smug. She did not know what she was doing. And the entire attitude was just trying to continuously remind us how much better she is than us and how she knows more than we do. It felt very childish. It felt like she was just constantly talking down to us, and it not sit well with me. And yeah, one of the things that happened was, you know, she was she's talking and she thought the class was making too much noise. So she was like, "Hey, if y'all want me to leave, I will leave." And then me, not thinking, I said, "Okay, we'll leave." I was already back at the class. I didn't think she would hear me. And when she heard me, I didn't think she would listen. But she did, and she did. So she left. And yeah, that
And what
was
happened after? What happened after that?
it was I can't remember the exact order how things happened, but I think we got her back into the classroom. And then it was either the same class or the next week. She was like, if anybody wants to leave, they can leave. And me, you know, to follow up, I walked out and left because I didn't think I was learning anything with her. And
Mm-hmm.
I thought she was wasting my time, so I just left. And,
I
you know,
agree. I agree with that.
At,
Yeah.
at least you left properly that time instead of what you tried to pull in English before.
that's another story for another day. So, yeah,
Oh, hi, Gal.
yeah, more.
Why?
And then, the worst offense of our, very strange relationship was when, I think she, asked a question. I raised my hand. She called on me. I stood up as one does when you answer a question. And she flinched towards the door. What? What are you doing? And then she said, I thought you were going to pull out a gun.
Ali?
What?
I just stood up but I don't know if we have any pictures of how I used to look in high school.
Yes,
But
you fit the archetype.
it's
From
not
what
about
I've
that,
heard,
right?
you
I
did,
just
yes.
wore, a really baggy hoodie all the time. And also I had very long shaggy hair that I didn't comb or brush anything.
That sounds bullshitterish to me.
But yeah, she thought I was pulling out a gun and she was scared. And her first instinct was to immediately just run out the classroom. So yeah.
Everyone for themselves.
That's kind of insane. Like to me, she sounded kind of psycho, but that could
She
be
was
different.
disrespectful as hell. And I didn't like
Yes.
her. So yeah. That's my story.
That's that's nice.
I ended up getting a distinction in
One
Caribbean
of
studies, so if you're listening, you can suck it. Did not need you, never needed you.
Damn.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Anyways.
She had
Rajiv,
Caribbean
it's
studies.
time for the word of the day.
Yes,
So yeah, go
yes,
ahead.
Yes,
it's morning
Take
KL.
the floor.
right now. Did you forget today was Saturday, KL? No, we started.
No, we expanded it.
Yeah, we started late.
Oh my god.
Wow.
I'm
Ali
not
Ali
meeting
just turned
KL, you
on his
talking.
volume.
No, I'm not meeting him yet.
Hmm?
Rajiv, just go
Yeah,
ahead.
Yeah, okay.
good job.
The word of the day is contagion. It means a disease spread by contact or the spread or transmission of such a disease. It could also be figurative, as in the spread of anything harmful, like a disease, but it doesn't necessarily need to be one. It's also used in finance too, apparently, but that's not my forte, so I won't be getting into that.
Nice. Good
It
word.
comes from Middle English, from Old French, and ultimately Latin. Contagio means a touching, contact, or contagion, related to contingio. It comes ultimately from con, meaning with,
Hmm.
and then tangere, which means to touch. So, touch with. And
Nice.
that is the basis of it. I have definitely butchered the Latin pronunciation, but you all should be used to that by now.
Yes, to
Mhm.
Nice. Good word.
Yes. Also topical.
Yeah.
Although I
Alright.
One
guess
fact that I learned
technically,
today is that the English language is the only one that people do spelling bees for because it's the only language where spelling is not obvious.
oh yeah, the orthography of English is ridiculous. But
Yeah,
then you could also
English
do it
is
in
stupid.
French, because French orthography is also pretty crazy.
I don't like French. Which I should because I'm Saint Lucian, but I don't like French.
Alright. Any closing remarks?
No,
Yes.
no closing remarks.
Okay. I guess
Um,
that's
I never
all.
got one, but I kind of wanted one.
Kel is speaking, but he doesn't. But he not getting any
KL, do you have
audio.
any teacher stories you want to share while you're
Kel is
here?
not. Kel is muted,
Yeah, me too.
so
Oh, he's
anything that he's
muted?
saying is not being recorded.
Yeah.
But like,
Ali said this like 5 times already.
oh, I do not pay attention. KL has a story he wants to share, and I think we should let him share it.
We're already like overtime though.
And
And we are already over time. So with
Alright.
that being said, war sadness hatred.
Yeah, good night.
Can
yo, wait, someone else
What?
Alright, good night.
what?